Well, welcome back to yet another video on the L322 TDV8. So I'm still working through the plenty of little issues it's got on it. And today I want to get the heated seats working really. Not that I need them because it's now starting to warm up. The cooled seats semi-work, heated do not work. So they do go hand in hand. So I'm going to try and work out what's wrong and bring you guys along for the ride and see if we can maybe fix it and it might be useful to you. Let's go for it. So I guess we best work out what it is doing or isn't doing first. So what I got here is I got the gap eye IOD diagnostics up. Now I've got two temperature readings, one for each seat, which appears to be backwards because I'm sure it's telling me the driver's seat is the passengers and the passengers are drivers, which could even be related. But it does seem to do some things. So now I was driving it a minute ago and I was working out the base of this driver's seat was getting cold, on-cooled, but the back didn't seem to be. And it's quite common for these to have split ducts in the back of the seats. So that, which also is where the main sensor is for the heating. So that could well be our issue there. I'm hoping that's our issue. The sensor still seems to read, at least on the passenger side, and I'm sure the driver's side was working the other day, so I'm not sure on it yet. So we might have checked the wiring as well. But let's fire it up in it and see what it's going to do or not going to do. So I've got the gap IOD software up here on my phone. Now I've got the driver's seat back temperature, cushion temperature, passenger, back temperature, cushion temperature. Now I'm not sure we've actually had cushion temperature sensors in these. I thought it was just back temperature sensors, but we'll maybe have to check that out. So apparently the back on the drivers is 33, back on the passengers is 31. Now I'm sure these weren't reading right a minute ago and they were saying the wrong seat, so let's fire it up a minute. So let's start by trying to put the drivers on a minute, which will probably cause it to cut out. So I'm going to whack the drivers up to heat. Oh yep, so the driver's back temperature there creeped up to 60 or 70, 80 now. Oh, there's actually the most it's worked so far, but it's cooling down. This is interesting. That's there you go. Now it's cut out. So that hasn't worked before, and now the temperature's creeping back up again. So potentially not getting the right amount of airflow there, which has now caused the system to cut out. If we go into cooled mode, stop working. So now passengers probably doesn't work as well. Oh, passengers are working. And it's cut out on the, that's now saying the cushion temperature on the seat at, which is, oh yeah, it's just the software being dodgy. Yeah. So one of these is getting really upset here because they're only staying on for a few seconds. So I think we'll best dive in it and see what is actual physically we can find wrong and then check this again later on. So to do that, we are probably going to want to put the seats forward, give us a bit of room to work, and maybe tilt it in a bit as well. So that should give us some access. Should be a beeper. And we now want to get this back cover off because the blower for this backrest, which I know isn't working, is behind here, I believe. So we should find somewhere in amongst here some clips we can take off. Oh, yeah, some hooks like that. That does that. Now will this reveal some screws or let's just be smart about this. Right, so it turns out it actually shouldn't be too hard. This bit of trim here is actually screwed on. Can't really get into it to actually move it, but you can lever it sideways to gain access. This side here actually unclips, which gives us access to a spindle where we can then unhook this bit of rear trim off of that spindle. So, like so. You might be able to see there, this just clips outwards on the hooks. So we need to do the same this side, which could be tight because we can't remove this cover because there's a bolt down there. But it should Should better get in there and pry it off a second. So not sure what you can see for a minute, but with that unhooked off a spindle, this back now should just slide down, I think. There, does that clip off? Sure, it should just slide. This here is our peltier unit, and our fan should be down in here somewhere. I get that. That will be our cover for our filter. So it looks like there's a few clips we've got to remove in here a minute, in order to get this all off. So I'll start diving into this a minute, and can't be too hard, he says, right? Okay, so with that off, this is what we see here. So what I've done is we've got this little filter cover here, which just unclips with a clip bar on a wiring loom and a clip down here, a little push. Just one of the little poppy out ones. So trim tool, pop that one off, unhooked these two bottom seat cover bits off the bar here. Probably don't need doing. And now all we've got to do is we've got a cable tie up here to undo by the looks of it. So that one up there. And that then reveals 2 times clips up here, one there and one that side. That frees up the duct at the top. And then down the bottom here we've got a dirty looking filter, which is, I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad sign. And then 3 T20 torque screws. So remove the torque screws a minute. Well, that slid out. This is our units. We've got a fan at the bottom here, the peltier module and the thermistor at the top there, and then I can see one crack there. Whether that crack's enough to cause a fault, or whether we've got deeper issues. What's this also disintegrating back here? Oh, it's whatever this. Is that something to do with this? Oh, no, it's just a little support bar that's disintegrating. Just rubbing up against the ducting here, might damage it a little bit. And then the filter as well is filthy. That's no good. So I don't know if we can. Oh yeah, anti-clockwise, untwist. Right, as you might see, a lot has happened since I last recorded. I've been doing a lot of testing rather than sort of film it all and bore you guys to death. I've been sussing out things. So essentially, what's happening is the passenger seat was doing nothing on heating. All the work on cooling. Passenger seat was doing, well, not all work on cooling, there's semi-work on cooling. Passenger seat was doing no heating whatsoever. Driver's seat would only heat if I had just the back on. As soon as I put the bottom on, it would then go into failsafe and cut out. Okay, so that's the first thing to try. I would flick it over to cold, press the button for going just the back, and then flick it back to warm and see what happens. Especially if you can read the temperature and see if it works. If the back heats up, you know the back's fine at least, and then you've got an issue with the bottom. What I'd supposedly read on the forums previously was that only the sensor in the back matters. The one in the seat isn't used. Incorrect. In this one, at least by 2007 here, all 4 sensors are used. So if any report any faults, the whole system will shut down. So this is where we got them now. So instantly I thought, okay, maybe we've got a problem with the base here. I know the fans work because you can hear them come on off and feel them, and it works and cool them. So I popped one at the base here, which was actually, I'm going to say easy, but I'm not sure if it was because someone's previously been here and broke it. So I just had to snap a cable tie back there, undo the plug, and 3 T20 bolts here. But looking at this back here, I'm sure it's bolted in from above. So no idea how you're meant to do that without removing the seat cushion. So yes, not sure on that one yet, but mine did fall out, so I removed the bottom one and I thought I'd test it. Now I know the back one works because I've had it out testing it and it was working. I had to glue up the damage there, but that glued up, not a problem. So I thought, well, let's test these then. So I know I've got a working one here. This one here seems to go into failsafe. So what you want is a multimeter. You want to put it onto ohms. And now you'll notice, probably easy to show you on this one here. There's your peltier module. You've got 4 cables. yellow, 2 greens and a blue. So the yellow and the blue are the power, the greens are a temperature sensor. So we know this one here works, so what we can do is we can quickly probe the ends a minute. I'll try and do it single-handedly. Between yellow and blue we're getting sort of like 2 to 3 ohms, somewhere around there. So that's the peltier, good. Between the 2 greens we're getting, between greens, about 1,000 ohms, so colour around there, which is what's going to be sort of around about 20 degrees for this sensor. So that's good. Well, that's what we've got on the working one. On the non-working one here in a minute, what have we got? So between, again, yellow and blue, (3,000 ohms, new. So basically no continuity there across the peltier. Between greens, now bearing in mind when I had it in the car, all the temperature sensor readings seem to come back about the same-ish. Greens, 1.3 thousand ohms. So yeah, pretty close. So temperature sensor is good. The peltier, so the actual heating and cooling module in here, the stuff, not ideal. So that's the base one doing that. So when I turn the base on, obviously the temperature didn't heat up and it went, why isn't the temperature changing? Shut the system down. That's not good. So then with the passenger side doing nothing, I thought, let's test the passenger side. So I went and tested the seat, readings come back fine. Tested the back come back on the peltier like this one, open circuit, high reading. Which explains, oh, this means you can only go for both the seat and the back, or the back. So no matter what, the seat wasn't heating up in the back, it was going into fail-safe mode. So I thought, I'll be smart. I'll plug in the known working one in the back. So I've clipped in the known working one from the driver's side to the passenger side. Front one's still connected. Let's see what happens if we fire it up. So we now got 2 that test out fine in the passenger side. So driver's not connected, 205 degrees, 205 degrees, that all makes sense. Passengers, 23 degrees on the seat, 25 degrees on the seat, sorry, and the back, 23 degrees. Okay, that's around about where it should be-ish, I guess. The car's probably a bit warmer because it's been on and running, workshop's cold. So, yeah, let's fire up. So let's try turning both on now then, see what we get. So that's now on. Oh, both are warming up. Do they stay on, I wonder? Let's check, we've got warm air coming out the back one here. Yep, that's coming out warm. Oh, look at that. Both on and working. Now the cushion's going to be a bit warmer because that's got restricted airflow. The passenger one in the rear there is hanging in the air, so it's not as restricted, so it can flow more air. So working. Ideal-ish. So by changing the one from the driver's side to passenger side, I've now got a working passenger seat, heating and cooling. The downside is I've now got a driver's seat with 2 motors not working. These aren't cheap. That's really annoying, but kind of handy as well because now I know they work. If that makes sense. So we know with the passengers, with the working one in the driver's side rear, it works. We know they work in the passenger side, and I can safely assume if I replace the one in the bottom of the driver's seat, that's also going to work as well. So that's answered that. So that is how to test the motors. Briefly how to remove them. It is a bit of a pig. So on most of the other seats I've seen online how to remove the backs, instead of having these side bits here, you pull down the cover from the tray, you pull up the cover, sorry, and you've got 2 screws there. Undo the screws, slides down, much easier. These happen to be a pig. So I'm going to fit that one properly in there now, give the passenger heat and cooling, and then I'll just suffer one. I'll just have to get the parts to fix the driver's side one. Bit of a pain, but that is the simple way of, yeah. If you haven't got the IID tool to check temperatures. If you measure the resistance of the peltier cells, so the yellow and the blue, and the greens, the temperature sensors, and they come back sort of close enough. Really, 5 ohms or under for the peltier cells, and around about 1,000 ohms ish, providing their room temperature. For the temperature sensors, you know they're fine. Obviously, look up your split ducts and such. But that's the way of testing them. So I'm going to reassemble this now partially, and then go and cry about the repair bits I need. But if you happen to have found this semi sort of tutorial instructional fault finding ish video useful, then there's going to be plenty more, because I have 4 Range Rovers. Yeah, I'm stupid, and they're all broken or all have things wrong with them. So there's going to be plenty more. As I work through different issues and that, next one's going to be one of the headrest monitors. Might as well record my journeys and hopefully help some of you guys out if possible. So yeah, I've been Jordan. Hope to see you again next time. Cheers.